Okay, so now that we've done percentiles, we're now going to learn how to make a relative frequency graph and a cumulative frequency graph. So the first thing we need to do again is probably get some of these scores in order so that we can count some things. So we're going to take this and get these scores in order. So again, if you want to go back to the Data tab, then after you go to the Data tab, we'll go to Sort. And again, we're going to sort by the Unit 2 values, and we want to go from largest to smallest. Okay. So now we're going to start recording some of these frequencies manually. So there is 2 scores that are from 0 to 50. And then there are 1, 2 scores that are from 50 to 60. And there's 1, 2 scores that are from 0 to 70. And from 0 to 70, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 scores. And from 89 to 90, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scores. And there's 4 more scores from 90 to 100. So this is our frequencies. So now we'll figure out our relative frequency. So our relative frequency, let's just do this. We're going to say equals, and we'll take this column and divide it by 24, because we have 24 people still. And that'll tell me my relative frequency. So we can see, oh, we have 2 people that were below, or 2 people, and 2 people are about 8%. Which makes sense because we already figured out Brendan's percentile. And we figured out he's in the 8th percentile because there's 2 people below him. So we'll take this and we'll move this down. And now we got all these percents. I'm going to change this a little bit so it looks nicer. If you highlight that data and you right click and you go to Format Cells, you can go to Number, where you can tell it percent, and we're going to tell it percent, and we're going to take away all the decimal points because we just want to see these percents. So that looks a little bit nicer. Now here's how we're going to get our cumulative frequency. Your cumulative frequency is how much all these things are added together to that point. So for our first column, it would just be that. For our second column, it would be this column plus our first column. For the next one, it would be our first column plus our second column plus our third column. For the next one, we just keep on adding. So this plus this plus this plus this. We just keep adding all the things together. And if you're wondering why they're not adding exactly the same, it's because if you remember we have all those decimals, and so it rounded these things. So it's actually calculating them to all the decimal points that it should be. So we're a little bit over. Maybe I miscounted on how many people that we had. Looks like this time I got an extra score in there, so there's actually 25. So let's go back and fix that. Should be easy to do since we already have it set up. Good. Okay. So now we have it. It's 200%. That makes more sense instead of having 104%. And so now let's make these graphs. So this is how we're going to make a relative frequency graph. Hold that, highlight that, then you're going to hold down Control, highlight this, and you're going to go Insert, Charts, and then any kind of histogram would be fine. Instead of doing a histogram, since we've already kind of got that and it's harder to make some of these things in Excel, we're going to go to recommended charts, and we'll do this clustered column graph. That's kind of like a histogram for us, but not exactly. So if you see that, That's our kind of relative frequency. Again, most of the time it's going to be a histogram, but histograms aren't as easy to make in Excel, so we'll just keep it that way. And then we will do our second one. So we'll highlight this, and I'll have control, and I'll highlight this. And here's our cumulative one. A lot of times these are going to be line graphs. So we're going to make this, and go to all charts, and we'll go to line, and here's our line graph. So we can kind of, there's our cumulative frequency, and you can see like it kind of goes up, and the nice part is we can see some of these percentiles. If you want to, you can change some of these things with more options. We can change the style, we can change the series, so we can tell them which series that go in, we can change some of the names. So there's different things on the chart that you can change, but that's our cumulative frequency. And it can tell us some things, and this is our relative frequency graphs. So that's how you make those two graphs.